Namaste programs, welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator, and the Rove through New Zealand continues with the New Zealand South Island bush trip leg 3 from Queenstown to Neil's Beach. They say in New Zealand you can ski in the morning and surf in the afternoon. Let's see if that's true. Let's go. Alright programs, let's get the show on the road. And as always, by that I mean this plane in the air. I'm enjoying this plane except for the whole flipping on landing stuff, but hey, good stuff. Just as I say that, plane starts doing some weird shit. Calm down, plane, calm down. Let's go. We want 28 degrees for 149. Lake Hayes, after launching from Queenstown Airport, follow the course of the Kawarau River, staying to its north, and pass over Lake Hayes. Oh look, it's got photogrammetry. Beautiful. New Zealand's going to be awesome to look at. Look at this. What is all this? Warehouses. Oh, it's a shop. Oh wow, look at this. You can read the names of the shops. That's cool. I love it. I love it so much. I love it so much. Beautiful. Look at these views though. Absolutely spectacular. New Zealand, the island, take a bow. I know the people have absolutely nothing to do with the views. In fact, they're just getting the road of it. I wonder if we're going to need to get higher than these mountains. I guess we'll just assume we will. Get that thing off my screen, please. Please. Please? Question mark? Please? Thank you. Thank you. Well, this must be Lake Hayes here. And according to my Googles, yes it is. Oh hell yeah. The next turn is 10 degrees. Yeah, that's heading straight to those mountains. So, yep, there we go. 10 degrees, just as I mentioned it. We need to keep climbing. Mount Cardrona. Continue on a northeasterly heading from Lake Hayes. Sight Mount Cardrona in the distance and fly over its 6,352 foot high summit, which lies just north of the Cardrona Alpine Resort. Cardrona. There's definitely an R there. Cardrona. Oh, and it actually mentions it on Google. Cardrona Alpine Resort. Bush trip designers starting to use Google instead of Bing. How dare he? He's working for Microsoft. Or she, or they. Arrowton below us? Or Arrowtown, actually. It hasn't been shortened. Place of the Arrows. I think that white peak we can see in the distance must be Mount can't say it. Why can't I say an easy thing like Cardrona? I want to say Cardrona, but it's Cardrona. Good old Cardrona. Where you going, plane? Plane? Plane. I think we'll be up in the mountains for this one. Though we were going to Neil's Beach though, so that'll be interesting. Yeah, I think that's definitely Mount Cardrona there. We're going to be quite late, I think. Actually, I didn't reset the clock, did I? Or did I? Doesn't really matter. We know where it is. We're heading for that white peak. And it's not going to be the right ETA anyway because we're currently quite slow. Although, yeah, we're almost at 120, which I think is what it's assuming. Which I don't know what it's assuming. Yesterday we did one of the legs, instead of 3 minutes, we did it in 1.5 minutes. And we did one of the legs instead of 9.5 minutes, we did like 10 minutes. So, and we same speed for both. So, these numbers here are just rubbish. View though, it's a ski run over on the right. Why isn't this all snow? Well, it's a bush trip. If we were doing this live weather, it would be all covered in snow, surely. It's the middle of winter, all down in New Zealand. Get a good positioning here, get the camera in a good spot. Trying to get our thumbnail. That'll do. Look at that, beautiful. Get a good look at Mount Cadrona. Still saying Cadrona. Yep, definitely the photography and whatnot much better here than it was in South America. It is of course one of the latest updates to the world, and if I'm not mistaken we probably started turning already. No, we're still doing 10 degrees. Not that I am doing 10 degrees. There we go. Just flying over Mount Cardrona now. The resort was to our right, didn't see it. Maybe it was there. 18 degrees for 5 minutes 3 seconds. No, 6 minutes 39. I'm reading different lines here. Wanaka. From Mount Cardrona, sight the Cardrona River and the Cardrona Valley Road, which parallels the river. Let's get over on the right, I think. Staying to its north and pass over the resort town of Owanaka, which lies at the southern end of Lake Owanaka. Right, I think we can level it off now. We're up high enough. Thanks, Turkish. I'm high enough. And what had we decided? It was like -20. So give it a go. And lose a little bit of height because we are a bit high and I want to be able to see as much as possible. Just down on the river there is Real Guns, New Zealand. Right. Sure. I wonder if that's been shut down since the massacre in Christchurch. Which an Aussie dude decided to come over here because the guns were easier to get. And he shot a bunch of people up. So get rid of the gun shops, we don't need them. Let's enjoy the natural beauty of humanity instead of having to buy things that kill them. Rant over. I went to some hot springs in the South Island. I don't think it was Wanaka. It's just something about the name rings a bell. I watch a lot of rugby, so I've probably heard the name. There's probably been a player from Wanaka or something like that. But that's it down at the base of the lake there. Beautiful. What a beautiful place to live. Big lake, big mountains. Yeah, lovely. Yeah, lovely. You love to see it. Of course, if we're in New Zealand, we're not looking for soccer pitches, we're looking for rugby pitches. Of course, they're the same, but I could see a rugby pitch, or possibly rugby pitch, some kind of pitch on the water down there, just behind the back of the the tail right now. The tail's wing, as you call the back wing of the plane. Cotton. Tail wing. Tail aileron. I don't know. Actually, not quite the right shape. It's a bit big maybe. That might just be a nice big park for people to wander around in. Gorgeous anyway. Again, didn't change the clock, so, you know, God knows what we're up to. We're doing 6:39, so we're basically adding them all up. 2, 7, 13, so we're about 3 minutes out from the next turn, I imagine. I imagine it a little bit. I'm going to actually trim a little bit more and lose a bit more height, because I don't know that we need to be up this high. Oh, there we go. We're already going. I must have changed the clock then. Oh, mate. I don't know. Anyway, 272. 743. Black Peak reset the clock. There we go. I remember this time. Try not to get too much speed up. Heading to Black Peak. At Wanaka, turn onto a northwest heading and fly over the southern aspects of Lake Wanaka. Pass just to the north of a ski area, and then fly over the summit of Black Peak, 7,509 feet. Let's stay at the height we're at then. Boom. Above sea level. Finish reading the sentence, why don't ya? Yeah, I wonder where Black Peak is then. Well, it's 7.5 minutes away. That's where it is. Amazing. This reminds me a lot of the Patagonian bush trip when we were just in Patagonia. I guess all the mountain ones sort of seem quite similar, but, you know, Southern Hemisphere. Completely different types of peaks, surely. These are volcanic... What was it? Subduction? Oh, I suppose it's the same. Is it the same for South America, or is that two plates hitting each other? I think it's two plates, surely. Surely. To make the Andes. Oh, no. As always on these things, I'm just going to wildly speculate about random things that I could very well Google, but I'm just not gonna. Because why not? You know? You've got to give the AI something to work with that is complete nonsense. So here we go. I hope you enjoy this, future people of the Earth. Probably getting information via an AI that got its information via a transcript of my video where I was just making shit up. Because that's how it goes these days. Look at that river over there. It's the... I cannot read that. I am apologizing in advance. Matakov River or something? Oh, it's just... Did they mention a river? No, they didn't. It's, yeah, the writing is right above one of the white bits down there. What? I think for the first time in ages, or maybe ever, the same aerial photography has been used to render the game as Google. That river is identical right now. And it's not always the case, or in fact, very often not the case. It seems quite a bit different to the Bing Maps photos and the Google photos. Maybe it's because of the height I'm at. I'm not usually up this high. That would be something as well, because I'm pretty sure if you zoom in you get different... that might be it as well. Maybe it's all the same. It has been all the same, but... Anyway, that's a ski run. They're just under the wing now, left wing. That's what they look like during the summer. Ah, it's a pity the bush trips in spring or summer or whatever. I think this would be much nicer in winter. But so be it. We'll probably get to do some of real-time weather in between bush trips. Although I think there's 3 or 4 New Zealand bush trips. 3, I think. And this one does all the South Island. I think another one does all the North Island, and then there's a historic flight one or something. So I'm probably going to end up doing most of New Zealand with just the bush trips. So be it, if that is the case. Alright, Black Pig is the one just above my right wing, apparently, according to Google. And we've done 4 minutes of a 7:43, so we're going to be extremely early, I think. Extremely early. Excuse me. I breathed in a dust. I'm actually going to head over to the peak. We're going to slightly miss it if I follow the actual directions. And I'll have none of it. I want to see it. I need to trim back a bit because of the height, probably. Yeah, let's hope I don't need to do any, what's the word? Fuel mixing? I think we'll be alright. I don't know how high the tallest mountain in New Zealand is, but I doubt it's 20,000 feet or something. We'll see, we'll see. We are going to do Mount Cook at some point, which is the highest mountain, I believe. And I apologise because I don't know the Maori name. I did mention it, but hey, I don't remember. There we go. Black Peak just below us. Ah, yeah, time to turn. No, it isn't, actually. I lie. Next turn is 279, so we'll head to the direction we're supposed to be. Head over. Well, actually, this is the peak. This is the peak right here. Hello, Black Peak. There it is. Meow. Alright, 279 for 631. Let's hope we're not got anything in front of us. I think we'll be fine. I'll leave it on this angle for a little bit because it's so cool. I love it so much. Mount Edward. Reset our clock. Continue on a northwest heading while gaining altitude. Alright, let's power it right back up to 100% and get back to, I don't know, maybe minus 10%. Sight the southern limit of the Southern Alps ahead. Mount Edward, elevation 8,596 feet above sea level, rises amid a number of large glaciers, including the Marshall Glacier, the Whitbourne Glacier, and the Dart Glacier. Let's just make sure we're not going to hit anything. These and other glaciers of the Southern Alps form due to the South Island's latitude, predominant winds, altitude of the mountains, and their proximity to the Tasman Sea. The sea provides moisture for their development and continues nourishment. Winds carry this moisture onto the slopes of these peaks, and the altitude and latitude of the mountains dictate the cold temperatures required for glacial formation and sustainment. What's that all about? What are you talking about? You're making it sound like these things are flowers. They're mountains. Sustenance from the Tasman Sea. Oh, I'm going to get up to maybe 10,000 feet and then leave it there. Well, actually, Mount Edward is on my map, so I don't see how it's going to take us 6 minutes to get to... Well, it must be that peak just in front of us right now. The old Mount Edward Peak. The sea over there, I think it must be. Crazy thing about New Zealand, you can be sort of in amongst all the mountains and the weeds, and yet you're really not that far from the ocean, are you? God dang. God dang, New Zealand. Every climate on Earth, apparently. Desert, mountainous, tropical, rainforests, normal forests, whatever they're called, non-rainforests. I'll go back to 16, was it? Try not to lose too much height while we level off. Look at that little river down there. Ah, I love being up here. I love virtual flying. I really do. I mean, real life would be better, but, you know, more risky. And I can't do it from my desk, you know? At the end of the day, laziness sometimes prevails. Especially with me. And we're living in the future that you can do this. You know? Visit the world from your desk. No dealing with pesky people. Ah! The pesky people, let me tell you. Get rid of them. Make them more virtual. I've been saying this since this came out though. I would love to see this get even more simmy, you know, like crowd simulations, proper car simulations, being able to just go to ground level and move around and walk around. I mean, sure they're doing it. I'm sure they're walking on it. They're walking on it. They're working on it. And yeah, ditch the flight part of it. Just call it Microsoft World Simulator. You know, put trucks and... Ah, God, it would be so good, wouldn't it? And you know, it's going to happen. Oh, let's just hope it happens the next 10, 15 years. Excuse me. Oh, my humblest of apologies. The dust I breathed in earlier has really not been dislodged yet. It's very windy at the moment, so there's a lot of pollen flying around. And I don't like it. Well, my body doesn't like it. I'm ambivalent about it. 4.5 minutes. This is Mount Edward, according to Google, so instead of 6.5 minutes, we'll see. We're going to go for another 2 minutes. We're going to take us 2 minutes to fly the final... whatever it is, 1.5 meters. No, not even. It's time to turn. 2 minutes early. Okay, cool. Wonder why where'd these numbers come from? It's just been pulled out of an ass. Or a hat. I was going to say hat, then I was going to say ass, then I sort of just said a house. One or the other. A hat ass. One of those good old fashioned hat asses. Alright, 3:41 for 6:22, and I haven't reset my clock. So let's do that reset clock. Arawata River. Once over Mount Edward, turn onto a heading just east of due north. Pass just to the east of Mount Mauriri, which lies north of Mount Edward. Can I see that on the map? I see no, I do not. Where were we? Mount Edward. Continue past the Snow White Glacier and fly over the large Immerse Glacier. Pass over a forested ridge and then sight the Arawata River. Arawata, you're talking about, Ming? Is that the river down there? I reckon it is. I reckon it will be. This peak just in front of us, which is clearly a glacier, is called Ionia on the map. Wonder if it's been also renamed Mauriri. Still can't read what river that is down there. It looks like it's Makarutu or something. It's just in a font, and it's written so that it goes along the river, and it looks like one of those captures basically, and I can't quite read what it says. Thanks, Google. Appreciate the effort, but you're making life difficult. We've literally just crossed over the Arawata River as well. So it's, yeah, that's it on the left there. We've probably just taken the source. Like, we're literally, there's a tiny little bit of it, and then it runs down the valley, and then boom, that huge thing there is the Arawata River. Bloody awesome, if you ask me. Ba-dum, ba-da-dim, ba-da-dum. Brilliant. I think we can possibly do a bit of descending now, because we've got what? Another 6.5 minutes at 3:43, so that's basically where we're headed. And then I can just see the next one. I haven't scrolled down, but it's another minute to Neil's Beach, which I assume is on the water there. So I think we're heading down into this valley. So yeah, why not? Let's trim down, maybe even power down a little bit more as well, and calmly and serenely lose a bit of height. That is one hell of a river. I mean, it seems we're basically cutting the corner here. So I'll try to get down to basically that ridge there, rather than down to basically the river level. Just to avoid getting lost. Not that I would get lost, but hey, you know, it's the OCD in me. You just have to follow the rules. But tell me to go like this, I go like this. Just how it is. Incredible. I didn't see Mount Manapouri, so I think it's also called Ionia. Crossing the river now. Yeah, I think we've moved on to the next one, haven't we? Yeah, 3:43. We only did 4.5 minutes. I think these timings are off by 2 minutes. It's not that I'm going faster than I should be or anything. It's that these timings are off. Alright, reset our clock. 3:43 for 6:47. It's more likely to be 4:47. Lake Ellery. Continue north, paralleling the Arawata River, staying to its west. Sight the small Lake Ellery and pass over its midsection. Lake Ellery lies just to the south of where the Arawata River meets the Tasman Sea. Okay, excellent. Oh, this runway's awesome. It's on a beach. Almost literally on the beach, just off the beach. You could land your plane, chuck on the brakes, jump out the window and be on the beach. Let's do that. Virtually, you know. Let's imagine we did that. Imagine it. This is, oh, the lake's there. I can see it. It's between those two mountains. Oh, I love that. I assume that's the lake. The lake of dreams. Incredible. Incredible. You know, it seems to, I thought, what are we, like 6 months off, maybe less, to the next version of Flight Sim? The one that's going to have jobs and stuff? Oh. Podge, yes. Capital F, yes. And in before they don't put it on Game Pass, even though it's Microsoft. I'm sure they will, but hey, who knows? And of course, it's Starfield tomorrow. No, the day after tomorrow. Friday. Well, if you're watching this, it's tomorrow. I'm recording this a day early, so yeah. I'm actually going to see if I've got enough disk space to have Starfield and Microsoft Flight Simulator and be able to do some editing. We might just end up taking the Rove into space. It could be done and come back to Flight Simulator when I've finished with, you know, in 1,000 years when I've finished with Starfield. Suddenly I'm even wondering if that is the name. Starfield? Is that the name of it? God, I can't wait. I love space stuff. I do. I absolutely love it. My favourite thing, and to be able to do a live in space basically simulator, fuck yes. Fudge, yeah, and you know, it basically looks like it's halfway between No Man's Sky, which I love, and Star Citizen, which I will love, which I have played. And it's just, when it's done, will be amazing. I'll see you in 10,000 years when they finish that game. So, what have we got? We've got 341 after this leg. For 141, Neils Beach, continue on a northerly heading and land at Neils Beach Airport, which lies just to the west of where the Arawata River meets the Tasman Seas at Jackson Bay. So, yeah, I'm looking at the map. The runway is right in front of us. I'm gonna actually have to, I'll land it the way I said I would. Because this is just taking us directly to the runway. Can't see it, but on the map, this little end of the river here I can see. So I think the runway must be behind that hill there. Yeah, that must be it there. Can't quite see it. But I'm gonna assume if we come down this way a bit, we should run into it. Possibly. It doesn't look very long. Can't see it on Google. But that is, on Google, that is Neils Beach at the end of the, just to the left of the river, so. Yeah, I'm gonna follow the river and hopefully find this runway. It's very obvious on the picture. I wasn't really seeing it. Let's just head over a little bit more this way. Lose a bit more height. I don't know if we're going to be low enough. We're very floaty. Ridiculously floaty. In fact, let's get to 0% trim. Oh, that'll do too. And get a visual on what we're looking at. Hopefully, we can see the runway from this direction a little bit better. It should be. There it is. Right there. That is tiny. There's no way I'm landing this there. And there's trees in the road. I should have gone the other way. Just going to go head first into the water. Alright, here we go. Crazy beach runway. Would like to be lower. I would prefer to be slower as well. Though we're at the sort of sweet point. We don't want to be much slower. We hit the end of that green bar, and then that's, I think, stall speed. Although I don't know why the white goes down to 50. Can this, maybe stall speed is 45? Yeah. I don't know. Bite your fingernails, hold on to your hats, hold on to your seats. This one's going to be interesting. I can even get out of the air here. I'm just so floaty. I mean, I assume these planes are actually designed for short fields, but because I suck at landing them, and they seem to be so floaty. Oh, there's a reverse. If I'd known that. If I'd known that. Why would a plane like this have a reverse? Oh, okay, well, there you go. Has a reverse. Now we're stalling. Yep, you're up. Okay, cool. It's these trees that are going to be the problem. What? No, no. Why are you... Slow down. Don't think I meant to land like this, but I'm doing it. Damn trees. Hurry up and just get the brakes on. Brakes on. I don't know how I've done this. Wow. Made it up as I go along. Because the engine's still on, it's not counting. Is that it? Yay, it didn't count for the first time in years. Come on, game. Nah. Alright, well, I'll try and make it count, but I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for watching. Thank you for existing. Au revoir, goodbye.